Hello folks, it's Chris in Arena Studio Land with another quick intro from an Acdc classic, Shake Your Foundations. If you want to learn how to play this brilliant intro with a great little riff, then this is the video for you. Thank you for sticking around. Please give the channel a like and a subscribe. You know how it all works by now, don't you? So, Shake Your Foundations, let's get into it. There should be a tab on the screen during this lesson for you so you can follow along and play along for that. This video is literally just going to be the introduction that Angus plays as the track kicks in. Great classic AC/DC riff, and it's basically based around playing two notes with an intermittent note in between, kind of just, which is the D string, which is going to be picking in and out of the riff as we go through it. Okay, so we're going to start the riff with the 7th fret of the G string and the 8th fret of the B string played together. Then we go to the D string, and we do this kind of thing. So you're going to alternate between the two like that, and this D string sort of kind of chugs away in the background. Then the next position from there is... So we then go to the 10th fret of the B string and the 7th fret of the G string. Kind of thing, and then I'll just go through this a little bit steadier for you in a few seconds, and then we literally go to the 7th of the 3rd string, the G string, and the 6th, and we try and squeeze some vibrato on there if we can. We play those together as well. Then the D string, and then the 5th fret, B and G, the 2nd and 3rd strings together. And then we finally move to the other final position of the riff is the 3rd fret of the B string and the 3rd fret of the B string and the open G string. So if I play the riff mega slow, you can see how it goes. Now, sort of AC/DC wise, we all talk about the tone of Angus Young over the years, you know, and one of the misleading things with AC/DC is the guitars are not as distorted as you tend to think they are. This is the amount of distortion I've got. So it's probably dialed in a little bit more than what Angus would normally use, and I think he probably just boosts it ever so slightly when he played on the track because it's got that touch more overdrive than what you would expect him to use normally. And I think what that does is when it allows him to palm mute that D string, which is what you've got to try and get nailed with this riff as well. You don't want them blending together, you've got to try and keep that separation, which takes a little bit of practice, so you can just move this picking hand around, up and down, make sure that your palm is on the strings of the guitar, and just move it up and down a little tiny bit, just to get that sweet spot, and that's where you're probably going to start your riff. I'm kind of releasing the pressure every time I play the double stop kind of stuff. I'm kind of just lifting my palm off ever so slightly just to create that opportunity for the 2nd and the 3rd strings to ring. So if you're unsure, if you can't quite follow what's going on, I'll zoom in really close on this for you. This is for you, Rob Johnson, actually. You requested this. You said that you'd love to be able to learn how to play Shake Your Foundations by AC/DC, and I thought I'm going to have to check this out because it's a few years since I've heard the track, and it's a great riff. So brilliant shout out, Rob. I love it. So again, yeah, if I play it zoomed in and really close, you get something like this. And finally, on the part, you've got 2 of those on that, and then we'll play it up to speed. I love it. It's a great riff. Hopefully you can follow along on the tab there. Go nice and steady with it. You know, just play slow. You'll probably lose the musicality if you play it mega slow. And I mean, when I say, the thing that I get asked a lot, you know, with students is, how slow do I practice stuff? Well, when I'll say to them, say we're working on a scale, a pattern for an example, I'm just going off on one a little bit now, but if I was to give you any advice, if we were to say, playing a little pattern or something like that, and I would say to them, play it slow, they would go, I've got, no, play it slow. No, slow. No, slow. This is slow. So I can pretty much guarantee that you're more than likely trying to practice the stuff far too quick. Now, the downside to practicing anything like this that's got a lot of content in, like a riff with this chugging thing that's got in the background, you're probably going to try, because you're already aware of the tempo of the track, you're probably already going to try and play it at the speed of the track. And don't play it perfectly. Remember, always practice at the speed that you can play it perfectly. That's the crucial secret to all this. And then just have patience and put the duration in, and it will come. So if I was to play this riff now, mega slow, I would probably look at something like this. Now, if that's too fast for you and you can't play it, slow it down. You know, and you'll find that you will lose the musicality. The slower you go, the less the riff will sound like the riff. So that's where it really takes that extra amount of focus and concentration to try and keep it going and playing it the correct way. Just take a bar at a time if you want to, and just add a couple of bars in until you get to the end of it. And just, this is why I don't put the whole songs on, because to get from start to finish of a lot of the songs can take you weeks, sometimes months for some of the beginners and guys that, you know, want to put the whole duration in. So just go nice and steady with the riff, play it at a comfortable speed that you can play it perfectly. Even if it takes you a week to get to that speed, then that's fine. You know, if it takes longer, it doesn't matter. It's a sprint, this is. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So don't worry about the duration, just concentrate on playing perfectly all the time. Get the tone right. If it doesn't sound right, then it's not right. It's something to do with either how you're picking, or whether you're picking with the palm mute. You know, it's a very common thing, something like that. It's quite a common thing to see these cycling licks with this, where you return to a note all the time in between certain beats. So it's a very common thing. So get it right, really, because you're probably going to use it in something else at some point. And just go nice and steady with it. So that's about it. It's a great riff. Please keep subscribing to the channel, as I'm starting to grab a few legs on this thing they call YouTube now, which is pretty cool. And I'll put some more content up as and when I can. And if you want to check out things on the website, please do. I'm also doing lessons online again. So if anybody wants to try anything like that, the one-to-one stuff online or in the studio, you can do. So from me, Chris, stay safe, stay well, and keep on rocking in the free world.